Qtronman, I don't know why I'm making this video. I mean, you're not worth it, so I don't even know why I'm making this video. But I'm going to make it anyway. But I'm going to say that I don't know why I'm making this video because you're not worth it, so I can both put you down and act like I'm above you and still get to make the video. Alright, so that's why I'm saying that. So anyway, on with the video. Qtronman, why are there so many ex-objectivist anarchists? Now, I can name off the top of my head a few. Morguth. I don't know if Morguth is an ex-objectivist, but he said in a comment that he agrees with, like, just about everything in objectivism except for the need for a state. All right? So I don't know if that counts as ex-objectivist, but that's, like, effectively the same thing. Aaron. Punk Outlaw. Omniverse. So that tells me a few things. Like you don't see a whole lot of atheists becoming Christians. I mean, you see a few, and boy, do these churches just love to parade these people around. But mostly with atheists, you see Christians becoming atheists. All right, and mostly with objectivists, you see objectivists becoming anarchists. I don't know of any objectivist who was an anarchist. I mean, maybe you can find one, but the trend goes the other way. And so that tells me that, you know, anarchism is a more scientific is a more, you know, is a worldview developed more by the evidence as opposed to theory test. And so that tells me that anarchism goes more by the evidence than objectivism, and it tells me that there's something to objectivism, because if a guy like Omniverse was an objectivist and a guy like Morguth either was an objectivist or believes a lot of objectivist thing, and a guy like Punk Outlaw and a guy like Aaron were objectivists, what that tells me is that objectivists, is that there's something to this objectivism thing, that it's not all bad. Right? That's what it tells me. But you're not doing objectivism any favors with the way you're portraying yourself on this. And, I mean, So you know, and that's really what it is. And if objectivism is the way to go, I don't know really anything about objectivism. I mean, if objectivism is the way to go, then you should brace voluntarism. Then you should brace anarchism, right? It'll give you. Anarchy will give you the environment you need to put objectivism to the test. And in fact, anyone who advocates any political philosophy that involves an archon should embrace anarchy, because that'll give them that'll be the void which they can fill with their political philosophy. And if objectivism is the way to go, then you should embrace an ordered anarchy. You should embrace an ordered anarchy where, you know, where like everything is done privately. And then if anarchy, and if people can't voluntarily maintain the peace, or just all goes to hell, then an objectivist government can come along and save the day in an area, right? And you objectivists can all go into an area, you know, maybe, I don't know if objectivists would need to make up like 80% of the, but if like objectivists made up 20% of the population in an area, then they could probably convince everyone else to be objectivists and put in place an objectivist government, and it'll force, And so the thing is, if you make objectivism voluntary, then it gets subsumed under anarchism, and so anarchism are not necessarily against objectivism if you make it voluntary. And you should embrace this, because it gives you the chance to test your worldview, to prove your worldview. If you really believe it's correct, then you should embrace anarchy. You should embrace the anarchists. Hell, anarchists, there's nothing, as far as I can tell, there shouldn't be any debate between anarchists and objectivists. You know, you should be an anarcho-objectivist, right? And that's what's so maddening about this thing, you know. And I mean, maybe, and that's it. That's it. And all the stuff about morality and ethics has to do with the archon. Like objectivism advocates some sort of objective morality, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm strawmanning objectivism to the nth degree, but from what I can tell, from the way Qtronman has presented it, the way Omniverse has presented it, and the way Cropper has presented it, from what I can tell, is that objectivism ascribes to some sort of objective morality, and if you subscribe to some sort of objective morality, then there's got to be an archon. And so when anarchists are saying that there is no objective morality, that goes a long way to dismantling the archons, and so that's why anarchists are moral subjectivists. And I think I don't know which stems from the other. I don't know if the disbelief in archons leads to moral subjectivism, or if moral subjectivism leads to the disbelief in archons. I'm not sure about that. I think it'd be interesting to see which comes first, and maybe it's different for different people. But for me, it was disbelief in the archon led me to moral subjectivism. So, Qtronman, this doesn't need to be bloody.